This is Honor's new affordable tablet, and it's called the Pad 9, and what it offers is quite a lot of value here for the price point. So this model has a 12.1-inch size screen. The resolution is 2560 by 1600, so it looks sharp, and it is a bright IPS panel. 500 nits is its peak according to Honor. I measure actually just below that, so it's not far off. And what's powering it is the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM and an additional 8 that is virtual memory, so some caching there to help speed things up. Battery capacity is very good. It's 8,300 milliamp hours. It's got 35-watt charging, and it is running Magic OS 7.2, and that is based off Android 13. And the other surprise that I was not expecting is the speakers in this. For a more affordable tablet, they are really good. So it has 8 speakers, and it's also high-res certified. And speaking of certified, the screen is certified to be flicker-free, and it does have hardware blue light filtering with this model. So let's take a look at what Honor does include with the box with our Pad 9. So you have our tablet there, obviously, and just under that you will find these 2 little compartments. So in this one right here, we have our charger. So it's 35 watts maximum charging rate, and just under this side, there is our Type-C to Type-A cable. So there is no micro SD card slot on this, so they don't give us a tool for that, and there's no stylus included because, well, it doesn't support an active stylus. Our Pad 9 here is powered by the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM and then another additional 8 gigabytes of what they call Honor RAM Turbo. This is a caching system here. So unibody build, matte finish to it. It does feel really good. It's quite light too. This is just 555 grams, which is excellent. Camera at the rear right here, that's 13 megapixels. And take a look at the thickness of this. So it is just 6.96 millimeters, so very thin, really light, excellent build quality. I think it's very good for this price point. So you can see some speakers down the bottom here. There are 8 in total here. So there's some downwards firing ones, and then you see that left and right we have these other speakers here. So these 2, they're quite loud as well. They put out a bit of bass, and it does have high-res certification too with the audio. Type-C port is just USB 2 speeds, does not support video out. Now, I expected this being a more affordable tablet from them. Here you can see we've got some speakers here on the side too. So it looks like just 6 speakers, but no, it's 8 in total. So really good build quality here. And you see up the top there we have our power on and volume up and down button and some microphones right there. So very good finish to it. Now, if you do plan on typing a lot, you're going to need a physical keyboard, and I highly recommend you go for this optional accessory. So this is called the Pad 9 Smart Bluetooth Keyboard, and the back of it here has this nice synthetic material to it. So it's a combination of the synthetic style leather with plastic. Build quality is excellent. You can see that's the cutout there for the camera, and inside is where you simply just need to clip it into place. Now, it's using Bluetooth, so no pogo port pin connectors, and you simply slot it into the bottom there first. You push in those 2 tabs at the top, and that is it. It is now clipped into place, and it's quite a nice little package here that we do have. Fits it perfectly, of course. And then when you close that, that will automatically turn off the screen because there's a Hall sensor, and you've got yourself then a very smart, nice looking package. There's the protection for it. There's the rear of it. And the way it props up is like so. You simply just need to lift it up. There's this first little lip here. That is all we get. And they've optimized this angle. So when you are using this, just up that brightness, when you're using it, I feel it's perfect for when you're sitting at a desk here, and it's a nice sized keyboard as well. I've been typing on it a little bit, testing it out, and I do find it to be excellent. It does work really well. Good feedback from those keys. Good travel. It's relatively short. It's about 1.4, 1.3 or so millimeters with the travel. This is just estimating here compared to other keyboards that I have tested out, but it does feel very good and great option to have for those of us out there that are going to do a lot of typing. Now, this is an excellent looking display that they've gone with. It's 12.1 inches. We've got an 88% screen to body ratio, and you can see the bezels. They're quite good. They're about a fingernail width or so here. Front facing 8 megapixel camera that is capable of 1080p. And the screen here, so it is 2 Rhineland blue light hardware, flicker-free certified. And we do have their dynamic dimming and circadian night display too as well. So it'll slowly change the color there, which is good. This is what you want with a tablet. And I'll show you the brightness here. So maximum peak, that is 500 nits. I'm measuring close to that. I get about 460. So it's very good with the brightness on here. And it does dim right down nice and dim. So that's going to be great for using that, say, in a aircraft cabin. You're in a long haul flight watching some movies or using this, well, you're not going to be blinding yourself. It really does dim down. And a lot of tablets don't actually do that. Often I do test a lot of them that have the brightest setting just, I feel, being a little too bright there. So the resolution of the screen, it's good because it's 2560 by 1600. So that is excellent for our display sharpness. It looks really quite good. And we've got 120 hertz, so everything's very, very smooth here. So again, and you've got the option to have the smart resolution on. Now, I've just turned that on before in the last clip that I was recording. Screen refresh rate, I forced this to 120, but you can keep it on dynamic for a little bit of battery saving. You've got video enhancer there, color, temperature, all pretty standard settings. Now, it is fully laminated, okay? So this glass here is optically bonded, so you're not going to see any gap at all. It's not like those older tablets that you used to have that ugly gap between the digitizer glass and then the display below. Not here at all. So it's a great looking panel. I think it is excellent. Now, touch response, very, very good. Everything's running really fast. I've noticed no lag, no slowdown. So optimization is excellent with the Pad 9. Now, being an IPS panel, right on the very edges, you do notice that it dims a little bit. So it's not a perfect uniformed white that you would get with an OLED screen. It's a little disappointing it's not on OLED. However, the IPS does mean that it's 100% flicker free. We're going to have no problems. I've not seen any flicker on this. Now, to talk a little bit about what we get with our eye comfort mode. So I have the circadian night display on at the moment. So this is lowering down that blue light filter, and it's going to help you get a better night's sleep as well. We'll know that that having the blue light's not good for us, especially late at night. So you can adjust that. Now, there's a lot of brands out there that do not even give us this kind of option, so really good to see it. And it gradually starts to dim that display down if you put it on the schedule. I've just enabled it at the moment, and you can turn and filter out. This is hardware level to that blue light, as I mentioned before. So you can see that you can really make that quite orangey looking, just completely getting rid of the blue there, which is good for that. They have a dynamic dimming too as well. That is enabled. So good to see these options here, even at this kind of entry level tablet that we have. This tablet does run Android 13 and Magic OS 7.2. So it's not 14, which is slightly disappointing there. I really hope that they can update that soon to Android 14, just to give us the latest there, of course. Now, multitasking is really good on this tablet. We can use this floating windows here. Now, I've been using this actually with the Magic V2 RSR that I also do have, and it's very handy, and you can swap between those windows. You can see here that I can bring up now YouTube. Apps that do support being windowed are really quite good for that, and it gives you the little tabs on the side here to quickly just select between them. Now, you can easily make this full screen by just dragging here, and you can resize those windows as well, and swapping between them is very good. And I've noticed that even though this is a more of a low-end chipset, the performance has been very steady and stable. I've not really noticed any problems at all with slowdown or any kind of issues there, which is great to see. Now, you can set these two later if you wanted to set them up, for example, as a proper split screen, so you have side by side. You can do that. And again, I've just noticed that the performance seems to be pretty good. Now, you'll notice that occasionally with apps like this scrolling and loading things up, you'll see that, okay, maybe it's a little bit slower. Sometimes you see the frame rate dip off, but in general, the performance is very good. And I can still have those two there side by side and have here an ebook opened up there. And I can easily just go through and look at that. So excellent multitasking with our Honor Pad 9. Multitasking has also been very good with it. I noticed that it doesn't kill things off in the memory too early like some other tablets I have covered in the past that have very aggressive task management. It doesn't seem to be too aggressive. If it's a system app, it will keep it there a little bit longer. If it's a third-party kind of app, often like Antutu, this is probably going to have to reload. But that's been sitting there in the background now for well over an hour, which that makes sense. That is normal for that to happen. So charge time here for the 35-watt charging and our 8,200 milliamp hour battery. It took 99 minutes to go from 16% here, as you can see, 16 to this is actually full, 100. I don't know why it's just saying 98% there, but that is a good charge time there, considering it's only 35 watts. So battery run time, here I forced it onto the maximum resolution, which is our Quad HD, just over that. Quad HD, it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and got almost 8 hours running this looping, stressful test here. That is not a bad result at all. Now, for something very light, like watching video, you're going to get around about 10 hours, just over 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours of video. Streaming content about 9 or so, and gaming around about 7 hours. So I've noticed the battery life with the Pad 9 to be very good. And it's probably thanks to this that it doesn't really have a super powerful chipset. That means it's not burning through that battery as fast as, say, a flagship spec tablet would, or mid-range. This is definitely low-end, getting 500,000 or close to 500,000 points here with Antutu, this version 10.2.1. So pretty standard performance, but when you're using the UI and everything, it's pretty quick and snappy, and it doesn't feel slow or sluggish at all when I do use it, which is great. UFS 3 for all internal storage, and you can see here that the speeds of it, pretty good. Those are good, no complaints from me. That's not going to cause any bottlenecks or slowdown. It will be the chipset itself that would be causing any problems with that. Widevine level 1 cert, so Netflix, yes, I can confirm right here, that is in full HD, but no HDR capabilities, no support for that. Amazon Prime Video I've also tested out, and that I can confirm too. Running it is also in full HD. For streaming content, it's very good, this tablet. Now, Honor does have a lot of cool features that you can use and take advantage of, like they've got Honor Share, so you can wirelessly pass over files between devices, and they have Honor Connect here that I've just connected up now, my Magic 6 Pro. This is their new flagship, by the way. I have a review of that up in the channel, and what I can do here is I can control on the screen now my phone, and it's all done just remotely wirelessly. It doesn't have to be this close. I can have it completely off screen on another desk or something, and I can now use my tablet right here, and then, for example, place a call, answer a text message all through the screen here. So that's a very good feature to have. So I can just bring something else, be it here in Chrome, and then do what I need to on the phone with a separate screen, which you can, of course, just minimize this to as well. So I can just simply pop it up when I need it and then use that. So it's pretty handy to have that feature. Honor Connect is something that might be quite useful for a lot of people out there. And it's a good feature to have, just these extra options if you happen to have another Honor phone, that is. Of course, the Pad 9 can be used as a PDF reader and ebook reader, and we even have a dedicated mode for that in the toggle. So if you swipe down here, you'll see that we've got wireless projection, device control. Oh, here we go, ebook mode. And that turns the screen black and white. So that's going to be perfect for reading text files such as this. So this looks very good on the screen, and I'm not capturing it too well. And you can see this crisscrossing pattern over the screen. That's to do with just some analyzing effect with the glass and the IPS panel below. You don't actually see that in person. So if I just get it out of focus a tad, you can see it looks a little better, but you can easily swap that around, of course, and be using that like so, and I find it's comfortable as an ebook reader there too. But what about heavy PDF files? I've got a demo one here. How's the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 going to handle it? So I'll just toggle off that ebook mode. Don't need that anymore. I want the color back, so just get out of that. This, by the way, is Google Play Books, which I like to use just as a PDF reader myself here. I just find it's a little bit better. And you can see that looks really good. And you can just double tap and you can see the text is all sharp there, and performance is quite good. I don't really notice any major slowdowns. It's not as fast as, say, an iPad to load this in. I wouldn't expect it with this chipset, but at your normal reading pace, this is not going to cause any lag or any problems, and the screen does look great. And of course, you can put it into the night mode too as well if you wanted to just reduce that blue light with the screen. So the sound on this tablet really does impress me. It's got 8 speakers, high-res certified. The speakers sound fantastic. There's bass, there's treble, there's mids there. Volume is really good. So it packs a punch. This is well above what you'd expect for really an entry-level kind of tablet. It's got flagship-level sound to it. The only downside is there's no 3.5mm headphone jack, which I think would have been perfect to have on a tablet like this. You can, of course, use a 3.5mm to Type-C adapter. So the sample I'm going to play you now is an NCS track here, so I don't get hit with a copyright strike. And I'll play this at a 100% volume, just make sure that is right up, and you'll hear that these speakers are powerful, put out some bass, and wow, do they sound good. Then on to gaming with the Honor Pad 9. So this is PUBG, and it is an older title here, but it's going to run really well on the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. So under settings here, I just wanted to point out one thing, that if you go into our graphics here, that you need to keep it on the balanced option for visuals, and that gives us the ultra frame rate there, which is what you want with a game like this. So if you put it on anything else, it only gives us the high frame rate option. But let's have a look at some gaming. So it is running pretty good, as you can see here. No real noticeable lag, running on just those balanced visual settings here. It is an older title, so it's normal that it's running well. Whoa, got a lot of people shooting at me here. Probably should be dead. If that's that's a bot, obviously, because... Alright, so it looks like I managed to just get one kill. I've got someone, right behind me. Must obviously be a bot there, but good gameplay. No problems getting those kills, and no stream lag or anything like that for easy to run titles like PUBG. And then something that's a little bit more demanding, which is Genshin Impact. I've got this set to medium settings because I just find it runs a little bit smoother with this chipset. Because if you have it on the highest, it's just pushing it a little bit too much. And I noticed that there are quite a few frame dips in some areas of the map. So that's why medium would be the way to go. But all of the titles out there that you can find in the Google Play Store, they are playable on the Honor Pad 9. Moving over to our cameras now with our Honor Pad 9. So the front-facing camera here is 8 megapixels and it can shoot 1080p. As you can see, it doesn't seem to have any electronic image stabilization. But for a tablet, I don't really think that is a problem. Let's have a look at the rear cameras now. This rear camera can shoot 4K 30 frames per second. It's not wonderful quality for 4K without electronic image stabilization, just like the front-facing camera, but at least we do have this option with an affordable tablet. So all up, there's really a lot to like about this tablet here from Honor. The Pad 9, I think, checks a lot of boxes for people that are after a multimedia, multitasking tablet that has excellent battery life, great looking screen. It has the blue light hardware filtering, it's flicker free, and the speakers are just amazing for the size of it. And speaking about battery life too, with it, that you can get around 9-10 hours if you're streaming video, which of course it does support in full HD. If you're using something like Amazon Prime Video or Netflix, that's going to work there. So the build quality, excellent. The screen, which is that type cover style keyboard, which they call the smart Bluetooth keyboard, very good to type on, and of course it doubles as a case, so we have some protection there for our tablet when we are out and about. And I highly recommend getting this if you are going to be typing a lot. It just makes sense to go for the physical keyboard versus just using on-screen touch keyboards, which, let's face it, they're not really that good when you've got to type a lot there. So charge time, 35 watts, isn't amazing. It doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. There is no micro SD card slot. So those are the downsides to this tablet. And it still runs Android 13, although I'm pretty sure that Honor must be working on an update there for Magic OS to bring it up to Android 14 as the base. But otherwise, this is a very, very good tablet for those that don't need like a gaming powerhouse of a tablet, and just for all your standard kind of tasks. Multitasking also fantastic on this model here. So thank you so much for watching my review of the Honor Pad 9.